My objective for today's video is simple. I will show you how to start using Grok. We'll begin with a user interface, go through main settings, and we will even see how Grok can help you with real-life use cases in business and private context. By the end of this short video, you'll be able to immediately apply what you saw and start writing better emails, translate texts, use it to compare documents, and even create structure of the slide decks on any topic. As of today, Grok is completely free, so we have no time to lose. Let's dive in. In order to access Grok, you should go to grok.com. You will see familiar user interface like in ChatGPT. There is a chat box in the center where you should type your questions to Grok. There is a button for attachments, a button for deep search, and even option for the deeper search. You can also toggle on and off thinking module. If it's on, deep thinking will be used and you will be able to see it later. You can change the model to Grok 2 if you would like to do it. I don't know actually when you need to do it. Then you can also enable or disable web search here. I would recommend to have it always on. To the right of the screen, you can see the history button. You can see also the button for private chats, and you can get a help and feedback here, go to settings and sign out. In the video, we'll be using a tool called EverPrompt. It's a tool I'm currently developing. It's a collection of your best prompts, and I have put the prompts which we'll be using here, and you'll see it during the video. In order to understand what Grok can do for us, I decided to create a prompt and ask Grok itself which capabilities it has. I'm asking Grok whether it can work with Excel files, create images, work with PDF documents. I'm telling that I'm creating the YouTube video and I would like to use it for my slide with bullet points. And with that, let's copy this prompt. Let's go to Grok. Let's paste it. We'll not use the deep thinking for this. It's quite simple task. And let's ask. And Grok is generating a concise summary. It says that it has general capabilities like ChatGPT. It can analyze texts and user profiles from X. It can handle files like PDFs. It can recognize images. It can generate images, which is amazing. There is no Excel support currently, which is fine. Web and X search available, and some ethical limits. I avoid subjective judgments. That's fine. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you, Grok. In the use case number 1, we'll be writing an email and doing the translations. So this is a concrete situation from my life. I came to Berlin and I need a place for my daughter in Kita. I need to write an email in German language to the authorities, so let's say to those who are providing the services in Kita. I would like Grok to help me. As a result, I'm writing the following instructions. Can you please help me to write an email with the following items? I need to find a place in Kita. I live in Berlin Mitte. My daughter is 1 year old. We want to start as soon as possible. My name is Alexey. First, let's try to see how it will help us with the email in English language, and then we will ask it to translate it into German. Let's copy it and let's go to Grok. So let's paste the requirements for the email. We don't need to use deep thinking. It's quite a simple task. And let's see how Grok will help us with the drafting of the email, just with this information which I provided. So it gives me the subject, it gives me the dear, and then I should insert the name. My name is Alexey, and my family recently moved to Berlin, and so on. So that's what it gave me, and then it gave me some tips. I would like to ask to translate into German. Please translate it into German. Let's see how translation works. It should not be that difficult for Grok. I'm sure that because all other chat assistants are actually doing this quite well. And Grok, the same. So Anfrage nach einem Kita-Platz, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, and so on. It's for sure better than what I would do. So I really recommend you to use Grok to help you with the writing emails just based on the sum of the bullet points you provide to Grok, and then also with translation into the language of your choice. In the second use case, let's try to ask Grok about what's happening with the United States imposing tariffs on various countries. I know that there was something about 25% for European goods, but I'm not sure about it. So let's ask Grok and see whether it can use the latest information from X and from the internet. So let's ask the question about the tariffs. And for this, we would need to make sure that the web search is used here. And now let's go. Okay, it's searching. You can see that it searched some X posts, some 25 web pages. So if we click here, we can see actually this post, and we can go to the posts themselves. So the posts are from March 20 or even from March 27, which is, so I'm recording the video on March 29. So these are the quite important, I think quite updated data. Then there are also 25 web pages. You can also go to the web pages. So as you can see, let's see what it actually answered. So there is implementation status. Okay, then that's fine. It gives me the status. So I think that's great. We can, in this way, you can see that you can ask Grok for the specific information which is only available online for up-to-date knowledge. And the advantage of Grok that it can actually go through all the information posted on X, which is quite a lot. It's a competitive advantage of Grok, and this is why I just read it today that the company owner or creator of Grok X AI bought the social network X from Elon Musk itself. So there was a type of internal transfer. In the third use case, we will ask Grok to recognize an image. Imagine you are having a Zoom call, and during the Zoom call, someone is presenting you some slides, you're making a screenshot, and you would like, for your purposes, to make a summary of this information. So here is the prompt I will have. Turn this into concise to-do list with deadlines. We'll use the screenshot which I have taken from the slide which I have created, but just to demonstrate you how it can be used with a Zoom or Teams calls. So now let's try and paste the screenshot which I have here. I'll just drag the Zoom screenshot into the files here. So it's uploaded, screenshot from Zoom. And we'll ask the following: to turn this into concise to-do list with deadlines. I'll paste. It's really an attachment, so it means that it recognizes the images and it gives me the bullet points. So finalize budget proposal by 30th of March, schedule team meeting for April 5th, and so on. So that's how you can easily work with the screenshots from Zoom and team meetings. It's really powerful. I use it sometimes. And in the fourth use case, I'm asking Grok to actually create an image. And for the image, I'm asking to create a logo for the company EverPrompt, which I'm currently working on. The company is a chat agnostic library, so I'm describing it here, what it can do, what's its goals. It can store reusable prompts and so on. The logo should be recognizable, minimalistic shapes, circles, lines, and so forth and so on. So I decided it should be simple, in line with the Grok's or maybe ChatGPT icons. It should be easy to reproduce, to scale, and so on. So what I'm doing here, I will copy this prompt and let's see what it can, how Grok can generate a logo for us. So let's ask Grok to design a logo. Since we're using free version of Grok, sometimes it's not working. But as you can see now, after, let's say, the second attempt, after I pressed retry, there is something coming here. Nice. So for EverPrompt, that's the logo which Grok offers me. I can try to regenerate. I can copy the logo. I can copy and share link, like and dislike. I would say I like it. And with that, let's move on. And for the last use case, we will try to use Grok to create for us a presentation outline. That's what I normally do at the place where I work. Before starting any PowerPoint presentation, I would like to brainstorm with ChatGPT, with Grok, or with Copilot, how the structure of the slides should look like, which kind of title should it have. I normally say how many slides I would have. So the chat assistants will come back with the structure of the deck, with the titles, with maybe some images which I should put there, some icons, and so on. So to make a long story short, here I'm asking Grok to create a slide deck structure for investors of the company called Heritage GmbH. The company is providing services to the expats or to those who do not live in Berlin but have properties in Berlin. And I'm asking it to create a slide deck of not more than 12 slides to provide me a structure and in general to help me with it. So let's copy this prompt and let's see how Grok will help us. So let's structure our presentation deck. I paste this information and let's use deep thinking so that we can see how Grok thinks. It would take some time for sure, so I will maybe fast forward it. So you can see how Grok thinks. It's really advanced. It's a lot more advanced than how ChatGPT thinks. So ChatGPT maybe thinks in the same way, but the information it outputs to the users, it is quite limited. And here it's actually quite nice. So what is important? So for every slide, it tells me, it shows me how it reasons. And I think now in the end, it should give me the summary. You see how long the reasoning part is in Grok. It's amazing. And the result is the following. It gives me the structure, the content limited to 10 slides, well within your 12 slides. So it thought that maybe it's better to have 10. Okay, that's fine. It tells me the title 2 should be the problem, content, what should be there, the solution and business model, slide number 3, what should be the content, and so on. So what I would recommend you to do later after you get this information is what I do. I go into each particular slide and I brainstorm with Grok. Again, the structure of the slide, I can ask what should be on the left side of the slide, what should be on the right side of the slide, should I use images, should I use icons, should I use different colors, and so on. You have seen how advanced the reasoning part of Grok is. It's super long, and it gave us the result we required, and I think the result is quite good. If you want to dig deeper into Grok, I have another video about it on this channel here. And do not forget to try EverPrompt. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.